Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going on a bit of a time-traveling guided tour. We're heading straight to the sun-drenched coast of the Mediterranean to explore a place called Patara. Now this wasn't just some sleepy ancient town. Patara was a sprawling metropolis. It actively shaped regional politics, global trade, and believe it or not, the very foundations of representative government. So buckle up, because we've got thousands of years of incredible history to uncover. History that was buried under the sand and is now being brilliantly brought back to life.
But, before we get deep into ancient politics, let me ask you a quick question. Where was Santa Claus born? I know, it sounds crazy, but if your mind instantly went to the snowy North Pole, well, you're actually in for a surprise. St. Nicholas, the universally famous, real-life figure who inspired Santa Claus, was literally born right here in Patara. It's wild to think about, right? This ancient archaeological site wasn't just about pagan temples and Roman emperors. It actually holds deep, deep significance for early Christian history. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for the day. Number 1. Likyanin Başkenti, Patara, or the capital of Lycia, Patara. Number 2. Antik Kentin Görkemli Mimarisi, the magnificent architecture of the ancient city. Number 3. Tarihe Işıktutan Antik Eserler, ancient artifacts illuminating history. And finally, number 4. Patara Modern Zaman Kahramanları, the modern time heroes of Patara.
Section 1. Likyanin Başkenti, Patara, the capital of Lycia. So, to really wrap our heads around the importance of this city, we have to understand its immense historical weight. Located right inside the borders of modern-day Galimish village down in Antalya, Patara actually got its name from the ancient Luwian word Patar. It was an absolute powerhouse, one of the 6 major cities of the Latian League that held the maximum 3 voting rights. It literally served as the main center where the League's assembly gathered. And during the Roman Empire, it completely thrived. It was a judicial and financial hub for the provinces of Lycia and Pamphylia, plus it acted as a critically vital port for Eastern Mediterranean trade routes. I mean, the sheer span of Patara's existence is absolutely staggering. We're talking about prehistoric stone hand axes that date all the way back to 3000 BC in the early Bronze Age. Then we leap forward to the Hellenistic theater in the 2nd century BC, fast forward again to the famous Stadiasmus monument erected in 43 AD, and land all the way in 1988, which is when modern systematic excavations finally kicked off. This isn't just a single snapshot in time, it's a massive layered cake of human civilization.
Moving on to Section 2, Antik Kentin Görkemli Mimarisi, the magnificent architecture of the ancient city.
Now try to mentally walk with me into the city right now. Imagine stepping through the Medius Modestus Triumphal Arch. It's this massive 3-arched monumental gate from the end of the 1st century AD. It was built to honor the Roman provincial governor and his family, but get this, it didn't just look pretty, it practically functioned as the endpoint for the city's aqueduct system. Now, once you walk through those gates, you'd find yourself in a building that could hold 1,400 people. That massive number is the seating capacity of the Bouleuterion, the assembly building for the Lycian League. This structure is fundamentally crucial because it stands as one of the world's oldest known democratic parliament buildings. It served as a brilliant, early blueprint for representative democracy. And thankfully, due to some massive modern efforts, it was comprehensively restored and stood back up between 2008 and 2012.
Okay, now hold a much larger number in your head. 6,000. That is the massive seating capacity of Patara's antique theater, leaning right up against the southern slope of Kirchelen Hill. Originally built in the 2nd century BC, this colossal entertainment and gathering space was heavily expanded during the Roman period. Actually, this expansion happened specifically after a devastating regional earthquake in 147 AD. It just goes to show you, the city didn't just survive disasters, it bounced back and rebuilt bigger and better than before.
And the footprint of the city is just incredibly vast, packed with distinct, highly advanced architectural layers. Take Hadrian's granary, for instance. It's an impressive, monumental grain silo measuring 67 by 19 meters, built in 131 AD during the emperor's visit. Then you have the Delicamer aqueducts. This is a true marvel of ancient engineering. They brought water from sources 22 kilometers away using this brilliant interlocking stone siphon system. Just genius. And tying the whole city together is the ancient Harbor Street, a wide, beautiful, marble-paved avenue lined with shops and colonnades that perfectly split the city right down the middle.
But out of all those incredible structures, Nero's lighthouse really stands out as a true marvel. Built by the Roman Emperor Nero between 54 and 68 AD, this is actually one of the oldest surviving lighthouses in the entire world. Sometime in antiquity, it was brought down, likely by a massive tsunami or a severe earthquake, but today, An incredible modern effort is underway to identify the original scattered stones and reconstruct this rare maritime beacon quite literally stone by stone. It's amazing to watch.
All right, section 3. Tarihe Ishiktutan Antik Eserler, which means ancient artifacts illuminating history.
Now, what's really interesting here is making the jump from those massive, monumental buildings down to the intimate, buried clues of everyday life. I mean, thousands of movable and immovable artifacts have been pulled from the dirt in Patara, shedding light on the Lycian, Persian, Hellenistic, Roman, and Byzantine eras. To make sense of these dense epigraphic artifacts, let's break them down a bit. First up is the Studiosmos Patarensis. Erected under Emperor Claudius in 43 AD, this colossal marble monument is, well, it's basically the Google Maps of the ancient world. It details all the distances and roads between cities in the Lycian province. Next, you've got the Customs Edict from the 1st century, which outlines some very strict trade and tax laws for the harbor. And finally, the lighthouse inscription, which features monumental blocks with these intricate slots for bronze letters completely dedicated to Emperor Nero. But hey, it wasn't just laws and roadmaps. The everyday objects left behind reveal a bustling, highly cosmopolitan society. Archaeologists have discovered these finely crafted marble busts and beautiful bronze statues of gods like Athena and Apollo, sitting right alongside Roman emperors. We can also see how their economy worked, driven by Lycian wheel coins from the 5th century BC and silver drachmas. Add in the imported 6th century BC Attic red and black figure ceramics, terracotta figurines, and yes, even those prehistoric stone axes, and you suddenly see a vibrant, wealthy, and deeply connected society that spans thousands of years. Which brings us to section 4, Pataranan Modern Zaman Kahramanlar, or the Modern Time Heroes of Patara. The truth is, none of this ancient glory would be visible to us today without the absolute dedication of some interdisciplinary heroes. I'm talking specifically about the Turkish archaeologists who have spent decades pulling this sprawling city out from underneath the sand. Two monumental figures have really driven this discovery. First, Professor Dr. Fahri Aishak, who initiated the systematic excavations back in 1988. His foundational work was absolutely vital in uncovering Patara's prehistoric roots and really defining the true Lycian identity. And today, Professor Dr. Hava Ishkan Aishak leads the charge. She took over as head of excavations in 2009 and has spearheaded massive, internationally recognized restoration efforts. That includes raising up the assembly building and pushing forward that incredible reconstruction of the lighthouse we discussed earlier. But unearthing a metropolis doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? It requires massive logistical support, starting off with the vital backing of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. On top of that, it requires the academic leadership and institutional housing provided by Akdeniz University. And finally, the whole shebang relies on essential interdisciplinary teamwork. You got epigraphers reading the ancient texts, restorers meticulously saving the stones, and paleoanthropologists studying the bones. It really is one of the longest-running and most comprehensive archaeological projects in Turkish history. So the crucial point we need to take away is this. A single ancient city shaped regional politics, global trade, and even early Christianity. Patara was never just a static place. It evolved. It seamlessly transitioned from a center filled with pagan temples for Apollo and Athena to a massive hub for early Christianity, complete with large city basilicas and chapels in the 4th and 5th centuries. It's wild to think about how it influenced multiple eras of human history, all from this one incredible harbor. Which brings us to a final thought, a question to leave you with. Hangi antik su toprak altında keşfedilmeyi bekliyor? Basically, which ancient secret is still waiting to be discovered under the soil? With a city whose roots stretch all the way back to 3000 BC, featuring undiscovered oracles and layers upon layers of unexplored necropolises and structures, the excavations at Patara are honestly far from over. Who knows what incredible piece of human history these dedicated archaeologists are going to pull from the sand tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember, always keep questioning the history beneath your feet.